Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by the Family Forest Carbon Program, where we help family forest owners get paid to improve the health of their woods. Powered by soy biodiesel, heading to Lipsick, Ohio today for week number 2 of Feeding Farmers in the Field. Given the amount of rain that we've had, if they've had anything similar, it'll be feeding farmers near the field again this week. Biofuel producers will get an extension to tap into the 45Z Clean Fuels Production Tax Credit as a part of the massive tax cut package released Monday by Congress. Now, Congress this week will begin taking up the budget reconciliation bill that includes an array of tax provisions. The bill would extend the 45Z tax credit for biofuel producers while also extending the qualified business income deduction and estate tax. The House Energy and Commerce Committee will vote to rescind several provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act meant to spur renewable energy or reduce greenhouse gas emissions as a part of that package. Energy and Commerce will also vote to repeal higher fuel efficiency standards for semi-trucks, pickups, and passenger cars set by the Biden administration. Other areas that relate directly to ag: the House Ag Committee is expected to release the text proposal that is expected to increase spending for farmers by boosting the safety net in the commodity title of the Farm Bill and offering more incentives or options for farmers to buy crop insurance. The House Ag Committee will also detail cuts in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and shift some cost burden to states as a way to help pay for the package. Specifically in the biofuels areas, biofuels producers haven't had much of a chance to take advantage of the clean fuel production credit known as 45Z. Under the bill, the tax credit would be extended until the end of 2031. The bill also modifies the 45Z to prevent the use of certain foreign feedstocks, such as used cooking oil from China. Fuels for the tax credit under the bill would be limited to feedstocks produced or grown in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. The bill would also limit federal agencies from attributing any greenhouse gas emissions to indirect land use change. There is also a special provision that opens up the 45Z tax credit to transport fuels derived from animal manure. In the estate tax category, while some lawmakers have pushed to end estate taxes, the reconciliation bill would increase the estate and gift tax exemptions. Currently, the estate tax exemption is $13.99 million. The House GOP proposal would increase the exemption to $15 million for 2026 and index it to inflation for later tax years. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Clouds and some sunshine through your Wednesday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you here in Ohio. We're dealing with another day of wraparound backside cloud cover with this upper level low. So sunshine, I'm going to say call it a bonus. I don't think we get shut out today, but it's going to be another one of the days similar to yesterday and back even into Monday where the clouds are around and we can't rule out on again, off again, a light shower action. Few hundreds to a few tenths, that's all that's going on. I do look for us to be dry for tomorrow. Thursday, we see southwest flow, partly sunny skies. We're warmer, and that's ahead of our next frontal boundary that shows up overnight tomorrow night, right on into early Friday morning. I think we're done with precipitation by Friday mid-morning. Right now, I'm going to pencil in 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch with coverage around 60% of the Buckeye State. Over the weekend, then, we try and go dry for Friday afternoon, but have to deal with some pop-up scattered showers early Saturday morning before we get rid of it Saturday, midday, and afternoon. And we are dry Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Next frontal boundary shows up overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday. That front could be a big one. Right now I'm going to say anywhere from 1/4 to 1.5 inches of rain, potential for some strong thunderstorms. Should end up with 95 to 100% coverage as well. So the first really good soaking of rain for the entire state. But behind it, we go dry again for most of the rest of next week. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Let's find out more about this week's soil temperatures with a Buckeye Temp Tracker. With the report, here's Joel Panorwood.
Soil temperatures across the state, downright tropical, as we take a look at the latest Buckeye Temp Tracker thanks to B&A Genetics. Real service, real results. More information at bagenetics.com. It's our weekly check of soil temperatures at 4 locations across the state, both in corn stubble field as well as bean stubble. No surprise as temperatures up in all categories week over week. Let's start in Morrow County, where we're seeing a soil temperature of 66 degrees in the cornfield and 68 degrees in the bean field. Up about 7 degrees on both sides. In Perry County, a 68-degree cornfield temperature and 71 degrees on the bean stubble field. Fayette County, 64 degrees for both soil temperatures in corn and soybeans that we're keeping track of. And in Mercer County, 65 degrees for the corn stubble field and 66 degrees in that bean stubble field. A nice trend upward for all locations as it's been an up and down spring to this point. Now a game of wait, dry out, and get ready to plant. I'm Joel Penortwood reporting.
And thanks, Joel. Farmers would see an expanded safety net under a package of provisions released late Monday by the House Ag Committee. House Ag Committee Chairman Glenn G.T. Thompson has laid out his proposal for the Republican budget reconciliation bill. The plan would provide a boost to farmer safety net and crop insurance while tightening eligibility for people who receive food aid under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and place more demands on states to pay for the program. For far too long, the SNAP program has drifted from the bridge to support American households in need to a permanent destination riddled with bureaucratic inefficiencies, misplaced incentives, and limited accountability, said G.T. Thompson in a statement. This portion of the One Big Beautiful Bill restores the program's original intent, offering a temporary helping hand while encouraging work, cracking down on loopholes exploited by states, and protecting taxpayer dollars while supporting the hardworking men and women of American agriculture. For the farmer safety net, the bill increases reference prices for the price loss coverage program in line with the Farm Bill package that passed out of the committee last year. Corn will be $4.10 a bushel, soybeans $10, wheat $6.35, cottonseed 42 cents a pound, rice $16.90 per hundredweight, and grain sorghum at $4.40 a bushel. For agricultural risk coverage, the ARC guarantee would increase from 86 to 90% of benchmark revenue. The maximum payment rate for ARC County and ARC Individual would also increase from 10% to 12.5% of benchmark revenue. The bill also raises the loan rates for non-recourse marketing loans to producers. For corn, the new loan rate would be $2.42 a bushel, $6.82 for beans, $3.72 a bushel for wheat. Farmers would also see payment limits increased under the Farm Bill, $125,000 per individual or entity to $155,000 starting with the current 2025 crop year. The adjusted gross income limit for producers would remain at $900,000 except for individuals or legal entities that demonstrate at least 75% of income is derived from farming, ranching, or silviculture. And April 2025 failed to bring good news to the machinery market. Tractor sales of all horsepower ranges were down 12.3% last month compared to April of a year ago. Combine sales were down 31.9% in April compared to April of 24. April tractor and combine machinery sales were down sharply from a year ago, said the Association of Equipment Manufacturers report in its newest monthly survey. The preliminary monthly numbers for April were released May 12th by the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. The statistics are derived from AEM surveys. Sales in every category of tractor reported by AEM were also down in April, as they have been for many months. Sales of less than 40 horsepower tractors were down 10.4% in April. It was the same story for 40 to 100 horsepower tractor sales year over year. In April, were down 7.3%. Now, sale of tractors more commonly for commercial farm operations as well. Sales of two-wheel drive tractors, 100 horsepower and above, were down a hefty 28.5% in April compared to April of 24. The sales of four-wheel drive tractors were down sharply at 41.5% from April of 25 to April of 24. AEM also reported year-to-date numbers. Sales of tractors were down 13.3% during January through April, and combines were down 48.3% for the year, January through April of 25, compared to January of April of a year ago. Back with more after this.
Whether you're in the fields or on the farm, creating a safer work environment has never been easier. BWC's safety consulting services are included with your policy premiums and offer training and education for everyone in your farming operation. It's always the right time to make safety a priority. Visit bwc.ohio.gov or call 1-800-644-6292. The Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, here to help you work safely.
Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. Clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org. Also on the calendar, the Ohio Field Leader is headed to the farm of Ray Van Horn in Morrow County on Thursday as part of the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow. Dusty and Ray will visit during midday and talk about the 2025 planting season, as well as the important work commodity organizations do, especially in times like these. The Ohio Field Leader is a project of the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Checkoff. And if you're looking for a trip, celebrate the 38th Annual Armed Forces Day with the Findlay Military Association, May 15th through the 18th at the Hancock County Fairgrounds. That's in Findlay. Visit their website to get complete schedule at findlaymilitarishow.org. It's sponsored by Ohio Logistics. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. For marketing information for your beans to LDC, call 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finishing the Tuesday session mixed overall. At the end of the day, corn was down 4 to 5, 5.5 on old crop, 4 to 5 on new crop. Beans actually managed to turn a slight gain, 1 to 2 higher on old crop, fractionally to 2 cents higher on new crop. Soybean meal was still down, but bean oil got a fire lit under it through the day. Wheat markets turned around in a big way as well. I think that was probably the biggest interesting piece, was the change in the bean market going from double-digit losses to a significant move upward. And then we saw the wheat market do basically the same thing. The soybean market was driven 90% by the oil share, the oil side of the market. Speculative selling was hitting the wheat market early, and then corn did try and look at planting progress. The tax bill news that came out yesterday was very good on the oil side, and that's what really, again, it got the soybeans out of the basement through the day. However, there's more headlines to come on trade. Everybody was giddy with anticipation on the news that China and the U.S. were talking on a Monday, but you saw how quickly that could evaporate as we moved into a scenario on Tuesday where the market was consolidating. The WASDE report on Monday was not bullish, and so this market is on a thin razor's edge right now. Headlines are going to be the key driver of this market, likely through the rest of this week and next. Planting progress continues to churn right along. There are pockets that are behind, but a large part of the United States is seeing good planting progress and favorable weather. A little bit on the dry side in the plains, and dry and hot, too hot in the northern plains. North Dakota off to one of its fastest ever starts. Problem is, one of the years that goes alongside with that, 2012. We don't necessarily want to talk about that year. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, July corn up 1 at 443.5. December up 1 at 442. The July beans are up 5.5, trading $10.78, while November's up 3.5 at $10.63. July wheat up 3/4 at $5.18. September up 3/4 at $5.32.5. As we look to the livestock, we have June cattle down 50 cents at $216.32. August was up 2 at $211.62, and October unchanged at $208.45. Mailing hogs up 25 cents at $90.97. June 99.50 up $1.20. July up 72 cents at $103.20. August feeder cattle down 37 at $306 even. September down a nickel at $305.05. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.